Okay. So that's what we're going to do. It'll
Well,
be
the nutrition or lack of?
Well, you know what?
Runaway nutrition.
Everything. It's so important. People don't realize what we
Dieting
put.
and how we cheat.
See, I don't like the D word, dieting. I like the L word,
Oh, well.
lifestyle.
Well, of course.
The N word, nutrition.
Yeah.
But my biggest word in life at my advanced age, John, is the M word. I know I kept you hanging for a second there. Mindset. Everything in life is mindset. Work, right? We're going to work. What got you through working 72 hours, nonstop, no sleep? It was your mindset that you were on a mission and you had a family. I mean, there's always, as a man, we're always looking to support our family. But move your career forward. To save lives was number one, of course.
No, you're right.
And it was the mindset. Now, suppose your mindset was negative. Suppose your mindset was like, this is horrible.
You wouldn't last.
This, or
If you were in the field of war and battle, you'd be taken out immediately with a negative mindset.
Absolutely. So you wouldn't last, or you'd be horrible at what you did.
Yeah.
And in your line of work, I don't think there's room to be horrible for what you're doing. So
There is no room for that.
So let's have a real quick countdown.
Okay, shoot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the next episode of The Jersey Alchemist. And I am your host, Dr. John Gerard Gallucci. I'm joined by
Philip D'Angelo.
Yes,
Thank you.
you
I like
are.
that. I mean, you rolled through your name a little quick, but I missed hearing that. That was always like the send-off.
Right.
Dr. John Gerard Gallucci. So we were talking to everybody out there in podcast and video land. We were talking about nutrition. Lack of?
Yeah, we'll have to take a break from ugly politics.
Yeah.
It makes me sick.
Oh, gosh, here we go again. What is it with the phone calls?
That's okay.
I'm doing a podcast. What's the matter? You okay? You're okay? Bye. Again, like last time, that's one of my children. Okay. Do you know, John, I had an appointment this morning at work. I had to see I'm going to make it sound important. I had to see a client, okay? And I saw the client, and I came back to the car, and I didn't bring my cell phone with me, and I saw 2 missed calls, one from my daughter and one from my son.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, this is,
Right.
alarms are going off, bells are ringing. I'm like, this is not good. This is what? All right, give it to me straight. What happened?
What happened?
And they're both like, what are you talking about? I mean, I'm like, nothing. No worries. No problem. Someday you'll know the pain, the angst of being a parent. Right?
Yeah.
So nutrition. So we were talking about nutrition and, and you being in the medical field, you saw a lot of people that nutrition was not a priority, even at a young age.
You know what? It wasn't that it wasn't a priority. People have, by and large, no clue. They have no idea. In other words, and look, my family was like this years ago until my father went to a health seminar somewhere out of state and watched some guy named Dr. Brady talk all about, health and nutrition. Then he changed everybody's life, much to our chagrin. Out went the Captain Crunch, out went the Lucky Charms. We never had donuts or anything like that. There was no way.
But that's the way your father grew up.
But people don't know. That's what I forgot to say was.
Your father was in the health industry. He was physical fitness. He was an athlete.
He was an athlete and all of that jazz. And he was kind of a larger than life character. He was. But I think so many people don't have any idea that there's a physiologic consequence in your body if you stroll down to the local donut shop and you slog down 2 or 3 glazed donuts. Oh, I like the pink ones with the different colored
double
sprinkles
chocolate
and Jimmy's, and I like the blueberry glazed donut. Oh no, oh, and I gotta have a blueberry muffin. So they're eating two or three, high caloric, massively packed with sugar items, and they're drinking some drink that's just as bad or worse. And but the point is, they don't have any idea that it's poison. It's absolutely poison. It just is. And even at the drive-in at the local donut shop, no names named, I'm paying for my cold brewed, which probably isn't good for you either. And right at that guy's arm's length is a whole multi-tiered tray of all sorts of just beautiful donuts and muffins and crullers and whatnot, all at his arm's length with those little pieces of tissue paper to grab them and
Oh,
stick them in
sure.
the bag in case you look and say, oh, I want a glazed cruller. Or, oh, I want an old-fashioned, for a long time, my favorite were the old-fashioned donuts.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I never met a donut I didn't like,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
right.
How about when a standard breakfast item was a buttered roll?
That still is for lots of people.
Lots of people.
Or a buttered bagel.
So let's break this down, John. So you walk into a store, you're just an average Joe or a mom who's going to go into her teaching job or whatever, and you walk in and you get, I'll have a buttered roll and a regular coffee or a light and sweet coffee.
Yeah.
Let's not even go into the macchiatos.
Buttered roll.
Buttered roll
Wow.
and a light and sweet coffee. So now you made a black coffee, put in milk, and you put in a sweetener, and sugar is the enemy. I mean, where's the nutritional value in that?
What's the commercial? No name's name? America runs on buttered rolls.
Yeah.
Buttered
I mean,
rolls.
just think of that. I mean, that's horrible. There's no nutritional
When's the
value.
last time, and it's probably recently, that you walked through the electric glass door of your local supermarket? All of the shit that they have packed up in stacks
Yeah.
and in display trays right in your face, especially on a Thursday, on a Friday, and a Saturday, because they're hand in hand with the sports venues and the professional sports teams. Oh, there's a bunch of football games coming up, bunch
Yeah.
of baseball games, whatever, and they want you to buy all sorts of different colored garbage chips that have impacted in them all sorts of salts and desiccants to make you thirsty, so that you slog down some disgusting drink full of high fructose corn syrup.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
just admit yourself to the goddamn hospital now.
Yeah.
Just don't eat that shit and just go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and do it.
I'm on a kick right now, John, where I try, if you can't grow it and you can't kill it, don't eat it. In other words, anything man-made, stay as far away from as you can. Now,
Yeah.
that's harder to do than it sounds.
They make it hard to do.
Yeah, because the man touches everything. And when it comes to food and processed food and cereals and breads and all that stuff that tastes so good, the comfort food. And listen, you know how they say, like at Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, like only an alcoholic could really speak there because they know? You're talking to a foodie.
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy that was 325 pounds a few years ago, okay?
That's crazy.
And let me tell you something. I loved every ounce of that 325. I earned it. Yeah, I was still in the gym, but it was like an excuse to really, really
You
eat.
wear suspenders.
I would wear anything that would fit me at the time. I used to have to go to Omar the tent maker, and let me tell you something. I didn't care. I loved being big. I loved every second of it. Because I felt I confused with being big with being strong, even though I was strong.
Well, you were strong, but you just weren't necessarily healthy.
But absolutely 100% spot on, doctor. Because when I went and got my blood work, I said, maybe I should start, finding out why I'm getting these headaches, and check my blood work. Like I didn't even know I haven't been to the doctor in like,
And you had high blood pressure.
I don't know, is 180 and 184 over 127? Is that high? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, things were going bad.
You remember those? You remember when we were kids? We had those water pressurized rockets. You'd fill it with water and stick it on its base, and then you'd pump it.
Oh, yeah,
pump
yeah,
it,
yeah,
pump
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's where I was
You're lucky
going.
that your head didn't pop off your shoulders like that. And
Listen-
I had episodes like that too.
God is definitely was on my, and I said my prayers when my body started, when you hit, 50, your body starts falling apart,
Oh,
especially if you're not
sure it
taking
does.
care of it.
Yeah.
And I said a prayer, I said many prayers, and I said, God, you take care of me, and I'm going to take care of myself.
Right.
And, there's a saying, I'm not really crazy about this saying, but I've said it to you and I've said it to everybody. There was a time where I'm not a big fan of police, so I stopped committing crimes. And I'm not a big fan of doctors, so I started taking care of myself. I mean, that's just the way it is, because those two people,
Oh yeah.
those two groups, yourself included, I mean, they're going to tell you what you have to do, where you have to go, and how you're going to live.
Yeah, but
I'm not a big fan of
they're
that.
Not always right. How's
Yeah.
that?
Well,
That's a different story.
I'll tell you what, on my journey, John, of trying to be healthy at my advanced age of 62, which I'll be in October, my doctor didn't say great job. He didn't say, he wanted to put me on 17 medications, pills, didn't talk to me about nutrition, didn't talk to me about exercise. He didn't talk to me about any of that stuff. He said, here's 5 scripts. Go right to the drugstore, get them all, and start popping pills. You're not going to make it to next week. And I'm like,
Wow. Yep.
and I'm like, Lord, Doc, I have the good Lord on my side.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
And I'm lucky to have friends like you in the medical field that when I was a fat fuck said, hey, fatso, what are you doing? And, just,
You were a fat truck?
I was husky.
Husky truck.
So I implore, John, being in the medical field, why don't doctors give advice besides medication? Like, just exercise, eat healthy. And I'm sure a lot do, but
Honestly, I think that doctors, at least doctors of my era, I graduated medical school a little older than the average bear because I spent 6 years as an undergrad finding myself, and then I went to dental school, and then I went to medical school, and then I transferred from a foreign med school to a New Jersey medical school and graduated with honors, thank you. But we were not trained in the ins and outs of proper nutrition. We weren't.
how interesting is that, John?
I think it's pretty typical.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, that was my cousin on the phone. She just texted me. She said last night, "Oh, tell me when you're filming. I'm going to be a call-in." I just said call-in. She says I can't now. Okay.
what?
All right, she's watching this. She's watching. Tony, what are you doing?
That's it. Now, that's it. You get one chance.
Yeah.
That's it. Now you have to go to the back of the line.
Back of the line.
It's not like we don't have people
Remember John
call.
Cleese? Who said that?
Back of the line. Those English guys were so funny. John, it's not like we don't have people all the time. I mean, you were on the phone before this. A gentleman was trying to get on the podcast. We said, no, we're not ready for you. You have to speak to production.
Yeah.
This one about scheduling, right? And now we give Miss Tony a lovely break to come on. One, because she's got a great personality.
Right.
Wonderful girl.
She does?
Yeah. And what does she do? Disgrazia. That's disrespectful.
It's amazing. It's
disrespectful.
We're gonna have to approach her on this.
I'd rather do another segment with Bones walking in than to,
Well, we kind of displaced Bones for a while because he went away on sabbatical for Shark Week.
You lose your spot.
In memory of his grandmother Boniva. And,
Lovely Boniva.
He's here, but he's being I don't want to say punished, but you got to
say it.
Got to have some. Speaking of Shark Week, you got to have some teeth in your policy.
Well
And
said.
So now he's lost his spot at the table because he went away for almost 2 weeks, and he was supposed to be gone for 1. Bones.
John-
Anyway, so guess what I did? So I was going to say to the viewers that it's always worked for me that if I wanted to lose a little extra flubber, if I wanted to lose the muffin top that was hanging just above my waistline,
You mean that's not a part of our anatomy that's supposed to stick around?
I would just kill off carbs, and in 2 or 3 months I would drop 30 or 35 pounds. Like just thinking Okay, be gone, be gone, be gone. Boom. Now, oh my God, it's really, really tough because I'm in my 60s now. And you know what I did? You know what I did the other day? I was running around, scurrying here, scurrying there. And albeit I would say I am back on the 10,000 step walking circuit now, which
Nice,
is really
nice,
great.
impressive.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny, I realized.
Because
there,
John, walking's tough.
there are bigger and better and more knowledgeable people than me on walking, right? But
Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
I used to get cramps in my legs from my knees down when I was out there trying to walk, and it was 96, 97 degrees and the humidity was like really high.
Yes.
And sometimes I had to just stop and get in my car and go home because it was that tough. People who were in lesser shape probably wouldn't.
Remember that one day I carried you back to the car?
Yeah, right. They wouldn't even get out of the house, and they shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
But now that the humidity and the temperature has dropped, and I think yesterday was like 83 or 84, it was a beautiful day. Man, I could motor 10,000 steps, not an ache anywhere.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. Now the next day my back hurts, but that's okay. I'll deal with that. But running all around, I had really not much in the house to eat, and I was like, now in the old days I would have made myself 2 big fat slobbering peanut butter and jam sandwiches. I can't do that anymore in my 60s because when I do, it don't like me. It don't like me. And the next day, my belly's out like this. So whether the peanut butter has changed, its ingredients have changed, or whether me or my ingredients have changed, probably it's a combination of all of that. Homie can't do peanut butter as a go-to anymore. So what did I do? Well, I went down. I called up the local pizza parlor.
Oh.
I love Rosario. His pizza is fabulous. What are they?
Round or square?
Just a round, standard round cheese pizza.
Thick? Thin?
No. If I'm gonna go round, I like a thin round pizza. That's
love
what I
thin
like
pizza.
with a crispy bottom.
Oh,
But
none better.
I ordered that and 2 orders of meatballs. Now each order of meatballs comes with 2 meatballs, and they're not real big. They're the size of like a lemon. To me, that's a mini meatball. But my plan was I'm going to eat half that pizza for dinner. I'm going to have 4 slices, because 4 slices is like, folks, I can inhale a large cheese pizza like it's like
Yeah.
without even blinking, right? Now, 4 hours later, I want to kill myself because I'm bloated and I'm all busted out like this. But the plan was 4 slices of pizza, and I put a meatball on each slice, and I sliced it up with a butter knife, and I dealt out the little meatball circles and laid them out like tiles, and I put a little extra sauce on each piece from the container that the meatballs were in, and I was in literally hog heaven. And it went down like the first piece was just priming the pump. The second piece was, oh wow. The third piece was magnificent. And the fourth was, I better slow down. Now I'm looking at the other half of the pizza. I broke that pizza down, threw the box away, and put the slices in a Ziploc bag and stuck them in the fridge.
Oh, so it's home. They're home now.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because I ate the pizza today with a once over lightly egg on each slice. And I didn't have 4 slices left. I ate 1 slice yesterday, so now I had 3 left. I cut one up into little tiny dicey pieces and mixed it in with my dog's dog food, and my dogs, I don't know, I think my dogs are some kind of spiritual reflection of me. Why should dogs go ape shit over pizza and pizza crust? But they do. My dogs, somehow or another, glean it from my energy that I lose my shit with pizza. I always have, and I always will. As a matter of fact, when I die, Phil, if you're still alive, have a round cheese pizza. Just lay it right on my chest, and instead of my hands being like like this, Have it on one, like a steering wheel.
Absolutely,
Just like that.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
how I want to go. That's how I want to
I'll
go.
I'll put a napkin around your neck. I'll put a fork and a knife. A fork and a
Fuck the
knife.
fork
I'll
and a
stick it
knife.
in there.
No, just put my hands like an old ride, the teacups down the shore. You know,
Yeah.
you
Oh
twist
yeah.
them.
Yeah. That would be
And they
awesome.
love the pizza, so I ended up with 2 slices today, and I was lying. I put 2 once over lightly eggs on each slice. And when you do that, you can't use a paper dish. You have to have a regular dinner plate, and you bite into that egg on that pizza, and it's a hot once over lightly egg on a cold slice of pizza. Folks, you've never been to heaven until you've had a hot once over lightly egg or 2 on a cold leftover slice of pizza. Lordy, lordy, lordy.
Have you ever had breakfast pizza, John? Breakfast pizza is Sicilian. It's
Okay.
square.
Okay.
It's thick, and on it, full eggs. There's no sauce. It's all breakfast items. So they're cracking
There's
open.
no tomato sauce.
No tomato sauce.
So
So
it's the dough.
the dough,
Yeah.
cracking eggs on it.
Okay.
Cheese. They put cheese on it.
Right.
Taylor ham, bacon, peppers, potatoes. Potatoes.
So it's really an omelet on a piece
An
of
omelet
dough.
on a pizza, and let me tell you something.
Holy shit.
It's amazing.
I bet. I
It
can only
is.
imagine. Throw some bacon on there.
Bacon, yeah, absolutely. It was all on there. It was all on there.
Right.
And I
So
partook in that. Only on Fridays, though.
No, now I got to do that. That sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
But, the dirty little secret, that's not a pun, dirty. The feculent, dirty little secret is that you have certain germs in your colon. It's known as the microbiome of your gut. That's why you hear pharmaceutical companies and supplement companies coming out with things called probiotics and prebiotics and all of that stuff. And apparently it makes a difference. I've yet to experience that difference. Maybe it's just me. But what happens is you've got certain bacteria that are good for you, and they're kind and gentle to your colon. And other bacteria, not so much. And when you feed your microbiome certain substrate, meaning certain food, like carbohydrates, the bad bacteria proliferate. And here's the kicker. Those little buggers, no pun intended, are sending some kind of hormonal signal to your brain. Eat more shit. We love the shit, and we are the bad shit, so feed the bad shit. More bad shit. And then you will shit badly.
Yeah.
So, and that's not a joke. That's apparently all true. So if you change what you're eating, you beat down the bad bacteria, then there's a proliferation of the good bacteria. I'm oversimplifying this. And then all of a sudden, you don't get leaky gut, and you don't have a swollen sensation or loads of gas that, if for those of you who eat dinner and then an hour later you're on the couch and your belly's like this and you're going, wait a minute, I didn't eat that much and now I've got a basketball inside my gut. It's generally gas. Get up, go for a walk down the street, and you'll help it move its way out, whether it comes out as a burp or as a fart, flatus, or eructation. Either way, what you eat really matters. Now, guess what I did last night? I had to run down to a Jersey Shore hospital. Now, there's a hospital called Jersey Shore Medical Center. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about generically, I had to run down to a hospital along the Jersey Shore.
Located
to
South
see-
Jersey.
Yeah, to see my aunt. She was admitted, rule out cerebral vascular accident, the CVA, and she did rule out, and thank God. Thank you. She's going back to her other facility today. She'll be 97 in November.
Wow.
That's amazing. Her mother lived to be 99, and my other grandmother lived to be 97.
Good genes. Good genes.
Well, good genes are
For the females.
Good genes are a life sentence that depends on how you live your life.
Mindset.
Mindset, right? But so I had eaten nothing all day from dinner time the night before, and
Sounds like you're setting it up.
I am setting it up.
Oh, boy.
But then I hit big traffic and ended up on Route 9 South, and I really don't like that stretch. You take your life in your hands on Route 9 South.
Nine's a tough road.
Especially during rush hour. People are coming at you from every which way, from in front of you, from left, right, from behind you. You got to have eyes behind your head. But now, because the ride took me 2.5 hours, and I thought it was going to take an hour and a half to 2 hours, now me bladder is full, and it's ready to burst. That's what
Was that?
Mr. Krabs from.
I thought that was a Popeye impersonation.
Well, it's Mr. Krabs. It's kind of a.
My bad, I apologize.
Seafarers. It is Popeye, but it's Mr. Krabs, I think, borrowed that from Popeye. Right?
Okay, a possibility.
But I had to pull over to pee. And it's generally not acceptable to pull over and pee on the curb.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of people peeing on the curb lately.
Right? So
You know?
I pulled into.
I can't believe you're one of
I
them.
pulled into an establishment that I knew I could accomplish my goal.
Mm.
And it was a certain fast food chain.
You couldn't walk inside?
I did.
Oh, you did? I'm thinking
did.
you went on the sidewalk.
No, I was
Oh,
just joking.
you got class.
And I walked in, did my thing, and all of a sudden, remember that hand from the cartoons when somebody bakes a
Under the
fresh
nostril?
pie? When somebody bakes a fresh pie on the windowsill and it goes into the woods.
That's
and
no joke.
It gets the bear and goes like this.
That's no joke.
And the bear floats to the
I've
windowsill.
experienced that hand many a night.
Well, this hand was all around me,
Hmm.
and I was in a fast food joint, and you gotta,
I'm not.
and,
That's,
and,
that's,
and so I looked at the menu board, and I was starving. I was starving before I pulled up.
John,
But
let me take this.
Go ahead. Well, I got to keep talking.
No.
Yeah.
Then I can't answer.
Go ahead.
I can't. It was the owner of my company.
Oh, that you should have excused you.
Well, no. That's too late now. I just hung up on the owner.
Oh
of-
my God. Anyway, I walked in and ordered a double quarter-pounder cheeseburger with just 2 pieces of bread instead of the third one in between.
Because you're an athlete.
And I ran into my car with it. I had water in my car. I was no way going to drink soda. And I got to admit, I had to let it cool off for a few minutes. Madonna mia.
It was
That
good.
was 3 burgers in a one. It was
Well,
absolute.
what franchise did
It
you go
was
to?
McDonald's. And
Old school.
Yeah.
And what'd you go with? The quarter pounder, or did you go with the
went
Big Mac?
The double? No, I don't want all the shit on the Big Mac.
Okay.
So I ordered a double quarter pounder with no onions. I want the pickles and the ketchup. And of course,
Came with everything.
they always shove the cheese down your throat because the industry, the fast food industry, uses a term called craveability. And craveability is a nice way of saying addiction. And so the casein and certain casein animal protein products in the cheese, even though it may not be completely cheese, it's kind of like half real cheese and half whatever, it hooks you so that you want to go back. That's why if you ever notice, no matter what fast food joint you go to, Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, I want 3 hamburgers. And with cheese? No, I didn't say cheese. If I wanted cheese, I would say I want it with cheese. Don't put cheese on it. So I got into the car, and there it was, smattered with cheese. And I'm like, well, it's my fault for going, but here we are. Okay, no onions. That's a big step in the right direction. Make the long story short,
How was it, John? It was unbelievable. You only got one? Be honest.
I was being I could eat 10.
That's what I'm saying.
10 of them. That's not a
One,
joke.
I just keep going back and
I'm
forth.
not proud of that.
Yeah, I've been there.
I think you were part of the crew that every year in high school, you'd screw with me on Good Friday, and we would
Me?
Yeah.
Sacrilege.
Right, and my friends would somehow, one way or another, get me to the local Burger King on Good Friday, and I would eat, this is not a joke, folks, I would eat 6 Whoppers, a Junior Whopper, French fries, and a big iced tea. Yeah, that's not a joke. So I was born with what I call, affectionately, a megalogaster, for you Greek types out there. Yes, megalogaster. It means a big stomach. not a big belly. Inside, hiding in that flat belly, was a megalogaster, which means you're just never full. 6 Whoppers, a Junior Whopper, French fries, and a large iced tea. Reminds me of Lou Albano and all of those professional wrestlers. They used to eat 3 dozen eggs for breakfast.
High protein diet.
And thinking about those guys that they were 300 pounds.
Yeah. That's
I could eat a dozen eggs for breakfast. Like,
I've eaten a dozen. We should have. I was actually in an omelet eating contest. The guy challenged me, "Can eat more
serious?
omelets?" Oh yeah, I destroyed him. He wasn't even. I've never lost an eating contest. I used to, but we should have like a taste contest here. Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's,
timing is critical on that.
or we could have a pizza taste
You got to get them
contest.
fresh off the griddle or the whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, when I went to the track and field nationals in 1980,
Don't brag, John.
no, 83, I think it was. I went to Naperville, Illinois.
That was college, right?
It was college, yeah. And the track coach was Dr. Richard Gray. Remember the Grays from Cedar Grove?
Sure do.
That was him.
He was a gentleman.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
And my roommate for that trip was a guy named, I'm going to say it, Andrew Ellis. Andrew was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and he used to mess with us because we would try to guess his weight, and we were way off. We'd be guessing at like 275, 290, 300. Andrew was somewhere between 350 and like 400 pounds. He was a monster, and he was a shot putter.
Wow.
So was I. He would beat me in the shot put, but he couldn't touch me in the discus. So we end up in this famous local breakfast place. Don't ask me what the hell it is, but the place had probably 300 people in there, and all you could hear is lip smacking and forks and knives clanking and
Music to my ears.
scuttling around, and I'll have more coffee, waitress, and where's my eggs? And it was all of that Americana breakfast.
It's a symphony.
So he says to me, "All right, big guy," he goes, "We're going to have an eat-off." And everybody was like, Andrew's challenging Gallucci to an eat-off. And at the time, I weighed just under 200 pounds. I was way smaller than him. But boy, I was
We were strong.
Captain America, right?
Yes.
Well, a stack of 5 pancakes with blueberries. Andrew, boom, down the hatch. Johnny, boom, down the hatch. A second stack of 5 pancakes. Boom, Andrew down the hatch, me down the hatch. Boom. Now it's like, what now? And they had these big catcher's mitt size omelets that were made in a convection oven so that they would puff up. Well, after 3 omelets like that apiece, we were both ready to just croak, and we called it a draw. And everybody was like gobsmacked. Yeah, we almost ran. Actually, Dr. Gray had to put up extra money for it. He kept it going. We didn't have that kind of money.
Do you remember Calico Kitchen in Totowa?
Of course.
On Sundays, Calico Kitchen had a ranch hand special.
It used to be called Aunt Jemima's.
Yes, and at the ranch hand special it was 2 eggs, toast, bacon, and all the pancakes you could eat.
Oh, wow.
So me and a few of our friends, after playing football on a Sunday, went to the Calico Kitchen for the ranch hand special, of which I proceeded to eat the eggs, toast, bacon, first set of
That's
pancakes,
the primer.
right? I said to the waitress, "Next stack, please. Next stack, please." At the 5th stack,
They
all right,
flagged you.
the manager comes out and he says, "No more." I said, I said, he goes, "You're going to have to leave now." I said, "I'm not leaving because you said, and it's right here, all you can eat." He goes, "I'm calling the police." So you either get up now, and he picks up the phone. I said, "Well, call them, But when he started dialing, I said, "Okay, pal, you win. I don't want to get arrested for eating too many pancakes."
Well, he must have been a younger guy. He had to be, because he didn't see the beauty and the opportunity that he had there. He could have taken your photograph and put you up behind the cash register as, the prized customer.
Yeah.
Because the cops don't give a flying rat's ass if you ate 10 stacks or 10 helpings of pancakes. They don't. And it was the policy. He went against the policy. And what's it costing his franchise?
John,
$10 and better?
because I'm a food specialist, and you're in my wheelhouse right now, okay?
Oh, yeah.
My favorite breakfast is a spot we ride motorcycles to out in the country. And only a country place would do this.
What state?
In New Jersey, way up north on the New York, Pennsylvania, where all the states come together.
Yeah.
Think of a plate now, a nice round plate,
Right.
a nice, good-sized pancake. On top of that pancake is a sheet of bacon.
A sheet.
A sheet
Not
of
strips.
bacon. No.
Sheet.
Well, it
It's
looks
woven.
like a sheet.
It's
Yeah.
woven.
Another pancake. Above the next one, a cover of Taylor ham.
Oh,
Another
Jesus.
pancake.
Or for those who don't know better,
Look, I'm getting
pork roll.
pork roll. Thank you. On the next sheet, sausage.
Oh, that's
Next pancake.
a little too much.
Who are you? Lightweight.
No,
Next
but I
pancake.
mean, it's like
Next pancake, eggs. Now you double the process.
no hamburgers.
No, we're cutting down. What do you think we are, Gavons?
Right.
So you're talking 9 solid pancakes with each.
Wow.
I'm getting
But
chills just
here's
talking
where-
about
But
it.
here's where that place has to fall on their face. Because I'm with you right now. But unless
I
they
love
have
that.
real maple syrup from Quebec, Americans think it's all from Vermont. No, 90% of the real maple syrup we get in the States is from the Quebecois territory.
John, I was cutting calories, so I didn't go with the syrup. But
You did it without syrup?
come on, I was at 3,000 calories
Oh,
there.
that's a choker. Come on now.
John, how would you alchemize this first world episode? Because these are only first world conversations we
Yeah,
can
they
have. There's
are,
people
but they're-
starving everywhere.
But they're fun. This is a fun episode.
It was fun. Well, we can be thankful for.
God bless. I'll always bring God into this. God bless our ability to eat like pigs. God bless those who eat to live as opposed to others. And we are part of the others. We don't eat to live. We apparently live to eat. And I know that most of you watching have heard that before. It's not a good way to be. And I couldn't figure out as a younger man, pre-medical school, why they would say, well, people who eat more die early. They die faster than people who don't eat much. So if you eat to live, you're going to live to a ripe old age, trauma aside and whatnot. But if you live to eat and you make the most of every eating engagement, you're going to check out soon. I couldn't figure out why. Well, I think the more calories we take in, the more we tax and rev our entire system from the top to the bottom. And that doesn't even account for all of the poisons that are in the food and the drink and the medicines that we consume. And you can bet your ass that the more you eat, the more likely you are to have conditions driven by the food that you eat that will require medications. Now you're in the clutches of Big Pharma. That's another episode that we'll have to do all by itself. And so many of those medications that are proven clinically to help symptomatically, what they don't tell you is that after 15 years of it being on the market, or 20 or 30 years, a news break will come out, gadzooks, there's a potent carcinogen in a certain H2 blocker. That's a peptic ulcer disease drug that's been there for years. How did they not know that? They did know it. They did know it. So beware ye. The more you eat, the sicker you get, the more medications you take. Now you're in the hands of the evil big pharma companies. And that's not what you want to do to yourself. So, people who smoke have kind of a death wish. They don't really care. They're comfortable with it because they love smoking. They love that kick, that nicotine, all that crap. And it keeps their weight down. And they know one day it's probably going to kill them. Same thing for people who overeat. They love to eat. And they know it's probably going to cause their demise. They just don't give a shit because right now they're having too much fun. Which is opposed to playing Russian roulette with your revolver. That's kind of dramatic and ballistic. And one of these days, when you're playing Russian roulette, you're going to splatter your brain from here to White Plains. That's a Terry Savalas Kojak line.
Charlie Savalas,
Yeah.
wow.
I'll splatter your brain from here to White Plains. Got it? Stavros, take him away.
Who loves you, baby?
That's right. So, anyway, alchemizing, don't live to eat, people. It's so easy to fall into that trap. Don't live to eat. Eat to live, which is a completely different story. That's it. Amen, Phil.
Wow, John, thank you for this
That was
episode.
fun.
That was awesome. A
Yeah.
lot of fun.
No politics.
If you follow us on the Jersey Alchemist, press like, follow.
And subscribe, people.
Cousin Tony. No mas.